Hi there, this is Sandra from the Schwowin's Nest. Thanks for joining me today. I'm doing something a little bit different, getting ready for the Christmas spirit by doing some great DIY gift ideas with my sweet friend Jamie from Simple Roots Simple Living. We have two amazing crafters joining us this month, Yelena from Blondie Next Door and Lori from Lori Bly DIY. Please make sure you go down to my description box when you're done watching my video and click on the link that'll take you to the next video. So are you ready for some DIY gift ideas? Let's get started. This first gift idea will be for the gardener in your life. I'm taking one of these Dollar Tree tins and I'm going to cover up those letters. Not everybody is into the French country look, so I'm going to take this piece of vinyl, which is also a Dollar Tree find couple of years ago, I think, and it's just been hanging around in my stash waiting for the perfect project, and I found it. I'm going to use my paper trimmer just to cut off two pieces that will cover both sides of the planter. Now, since this is vinyl, of course, it's got an adhesive backing, and I'm very easily going to be able to put this right on top of the tin. And it was really easy to do. Of course, because this tin is a round shape, I did have to do a little bit of trimming along the top, but that's okay. I really love how this one turned out so far. I wanted to give this a little bit of a vintage look, so I created this printable and I will have it available on my website under my free printables link down in my description box. And what I'm doing now is just gently tearing some of the paper on the edges. I don't want this to have a clean cut. And a tip that I can give you is if you don't want the white paper border around your design, then tear it from the back like I'm doing here. That will leave all of the tear marks, the white sections on the back of the paper, and you won't see that on the front. I also cut out a piece of scrapbook paper that has this really pretty muted purple buffalo plaid or buffalo check or gingham pattern, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to use a glue stick to attach the lavender vintage label. Using hot glue, I'm just going to glue the cardstock right on top of the vinyl. The other side is just going to stay plain vinyl. I also grabbed a pack of white craft bags, and these would be good for grab bags or small little snacks. But what I wanted to do is create some more little vintage labels. Again, these will be available in my website. Link is down in my description box, and I'm going to be able to fill these little bags with some seeds and some soil and just get that person ready for starting their seedlings in February and March for next year. Here's how the tin and the two little bags turned out. I'm also going to be adding a candle, a little faux lavender bunch, and some vintage garden tools that I found at a thrift store. The second gift idea I had was for a coffee lover or a tea lover. I went to my Cricut and I found some really cute decals that were already ready to go. So I just went ahead and put them on some black vinyl. And now I'm going to go ahead and add them to these mugs that I also picked up at my Dollarama. They're a little bit of a larger mug, so it'll be perfect for the person who loves to drink a lot of coffee. This first decal is OCD, which would stand for Obsessive Coffee Disorder. And for the tea one, I know not everyone has a cutting machine, so there is another way that you can put a permanent decal onto a mug like this, and I'll show you that in my next project. But for now, here's how these two turned out. This next project is just using this plastic jar that had some chocolate in it, I believe. But what I'm going to do with it is tape off the top half and spray paint the bottom half with some really pretty blue spray paint. I've printed my design on the Hiipoo Waterslide Decal paper, and now I'm going to cover it 3 times with Rust-Oleum matte clear finish. I'm going to let it dry and then do it 2 more times. While I wait for it to dry, I'm going to take care of my jar here by removing the painter's tape. Here's my decal. It is sprayed and dried and ready for use. I'm just going to cut it out using these little tiny scissors from the Dollar Tree. They're super sharp. I just love them. And for $1.25, you can't go wrong. The first thing you need to do to get your decal onto your project is to soak it in some lukewarm water. Now, it says on the directions to use room temperature. I find that just a little bit warmer works a lot better for me. And I'm just holding it down to make sure that it's all submerged for about 60 seconds. I'm also going to add a little bit of moisture to my project where I want the decal to sit because that will help me to position it properly. I've slowed this process down for you so you can really see the effect of how this works. You want to take it out and let it drip a little bit, and then you're just going to take 2 fingers on either side and just give that a gentle push, and you can see the decal being released from the paper. Then I'm going to take the decal over to my project and lay it on very gently. Make sure that you have it just about in the right position. You have a little bit of leeway to be able to move it around, but not a whole lot. Then I'm going to use my thumb on the top of the decal and then slowly slide out the paper from underneath. Now because I added some water to the bottom, I'm going to be able to just very gently press with my fingers and move the decal around until I get it completely smooth. There aren't going to be any bubbles or any water underneath this at all. I'm just going to work at it very slowly and very carefully until I get everything smoothed out. Now I'm just going to take a tissue and I'm going to dab and push out any of the wrinkles. That will push the water out and the tissue will automatically just soak that up. Again, be very gentle with this. You don't want it to tear. I like to use a tissue. I find it a little softer than a paper towel. You could probably also use a really soft, thin rag, but you want to make sure that whatever you're using, when you're pushing up like I'm doing here, is going to automatically soak up any water that pushes out. If you haven't checked out Hiipoo Waterslide Decals, you've got to go do that. I do have a link down in my description box. Please go check it out. I think it's about $14 for 20 sheets, and it will last you a really long time. So just imagine the type of personalized items that you can do as gifts like we're doing here today, or some home decor, all sorts of possibilities. The sky's the limit. At first, I thought I would cut an opening into the top of this. It's just plastic, and that way people could easily drop in their change or their money because this is a vacation fund jar. But then I decided it would probably look a lot nicer if the gold was not there. So I've got some of this white nautical rope, and I'm going to go ahead and just glue it using my hot glue gun. I'm going to go all the way around, starting in the center, as you see me doing here, and I'll work my way all the way down to the sides. Through my stash of cabinet knobs, and I found this really pretty glass one that I'm going to hot glue right into the center of the lid. I got some blue and white twine from the Dollar Tree. It's their little pack of 3 colors that you get. And I just decided to add that into the sides of the lid just to give it a little bit more color and coordinate better with the blue. I tied the rest of the white rope just once along the bottom, tied a simple shoestring bow, and then glued the extra ends around to the back. I think this will be a really fun gift for someone who loves to travel and just wants to save up their pennies so they can get somewhere out of town. I hope you enjoyed these videos today. If you did, stay tuned because Jamie and I've got a few more for you with some new guests next month. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.